The Krashen podcast. Okay, here we go. Welcome back, everyone, to... Is it on? Welcome back, everyone, to the Krashen Out podcast, where we talk everything about Stephen Krashen's life, from his middle school crush all the way up to his greatest accomplishments. I am Dr. Matthew Sell over at Marshall University, and here we have...
I am Professor Isabel over here at Liberty.
I'm Dr. Risden, also at Liberty.
Amazing. We'll be your host today. So let's just open it up with some background on Stephen Krashen. Professor Isabel, so is Stephen Krashen married, and how many kids does he have?
Yeah, so actually he is married.
Wow.
I think they're still going strong. He has 2 kids. Adam and Anya, both starting with an A, both beautiful names.
Beautiful. He's wonderful with naming, just as with researching.
So true.
All right. Why did Stephen Krashen enter the field of education?
That's a great question. So he entered the field of education just because he's so passionate about linguistics. He spent a year in Vienna studying piano, and while he was there, he learned German. Then he spent 2 years in Ethiopia with the Peace Corps, and he also learned languages there. And after that, he went and pursued a PhD in linguistics, and then just started his education in teaching.
Wow, that's an amazing background he has there, traveling around the world. What type of classes did Stephen Krashen teach once he got into education? And then why did he go into research afterwards?
Yeah, he teaches second language acquisition and a lot of literacy classes. I think he also teaches some linguistics classes. He entered the field of research because, and he came up with his main theory as he was trying to distinguish the difference between learning and acquisition. And that's how he kind of got into his main work, which I think Rachel's going to tell us a little bit about.
Yes. So some of Krashen's contributions to the field of second language acquisition, there's so many, but the main one we've been talking about in class is the monitor theory, which consists of 5 hypotheses: the monitor hypothesis, the comprehensible input hypothesis, the acquisition learning hypothesis, the affective filter hypothesis, and the natural order hypothesis. So aside from coming out with all of these things, Krashen was a professor at the University of Southern California for many years, where he is still highly regarded even though he is retired. He's won a number of awards and accolades, including the Mildenberger Award in 1982, the Pimsleur Award in 1985, and the Dorothy C. Mackenzie Award. And Stephen Krashen has influenced the field of second language acquisition in other very tangible ways by prioritizing student-centered, low-anxiety environments that focus on message over form, and acquisition over learning, and that's lesson learning. And David, what would you consider Stephen Krashen's masterwork to be?
That's a really hard one to think about. I mean, he dug a lot of holes in Ethiopia during the Peace Corps, but I would probably say that the monitor theory in 1982, that's probably his biggest work, yeah. As you're saying, Rachel, it's formed by 5 hypotheses, not 3, not 4, but 5. That's a good number. There's the monitor hypothesis, the acquisition learning hypothesis, the input hypothesis, the natural order hypothesis, and the affective filter hypothesis. And yeah, just to sort of sum up what the theory was about, basically he argued that students learn their second language in the same way that children learn their first language. So he was really focusing on implicit learning versus explicit learning. Yeah, that was one of his main things. He also talked about how learners have filters that can prevent them from receiving input, but they can also receive input implicitly. And then one main idea is that input needs to be meaningful. So, for example, if you go to Ethiopia, you're not just going to be able to learn whatever language they speak there just by listening to them. Rather, you need to have some base there, or else the input isn't meaningful. It's just sounds to you. Maybe you can pick it up, but that would probably be pretty hard. So that's his main idea from the monitor theory. And then one hypothesis that's really foundational from the monitor theory is the input hypothesis, which states I plus one, which is the idea of where you're currently at plus one plus a little bit more, is really what helps you learn more. As well as the more input you receive, the more meaningful input you receive, the more output that you can give. But yeah, how do you think his research has influenced the field of SLA, Professor Riston?
It's doctor,
Doctor,
actually.
excuse me.
I would say before Krashen's work, a lot of language learning classrooms were very kind of strict and rigid, very much formal learning based, but his work kind of brought this form of like relaxedness in the classroom. It was very much student centered, less constraints, and it was very much focused on like real world acquisition, instead of that strict learning process. And like you were talking about, a lot of implicit input and output was incorporated.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, and one other thing with this, the Krashen Out podcast, we thankfully got Dr. Krashen on the phone. So actually, now we'll clip to a video of him that we interviewed earlier today. And yeah. Good afternoon, Dr. Krashen. This is Matthew Sell, a researcher from Liberty University. We are here right now on the Krashen Out podcast, and we were hoping to ask you some questions. Would that be all right, Dr. Krashen?
That would be fine with me.
So our first question, our first and only question, this is something that people have been wondering about in the field of SLA, second language acquisition, for ages now. What color is English?
What color is English? That's a very thoughtful question. The obvious answer is English is colored blue. A lot of people think, well, you read English. In other words, English has been read, and
Mm,
they think that it's the color red. No, no, the
no.
color blue, obviously.
Thank you, Dr. Krashen. That's really what I wanted to hear. Those people who think it's red or yellow, just yeah, I don't know what's up with them. Yeah, and one last thing, can you give a shout out to TESOL class 403?
Oh, absolutely. The very best that I've ever seen. Very thoughtful people, very knowledgeable people. I would rate them number one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, you have a good night, Dr. Krashen. Thank you for your time.
Nighty night.
Thank you for joining us on the Krashen Out podcast. The Krashen Out podcast. Okay. Okay,
Wait.
let's stare at the camera and then go.
Okay.
And thank you for listening. Another time.
Wait, guys, maybe we should count down. 3, 2.
No, because we need to cut it. I'll do 3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay.